They were supposed to be pretending. So why did her touch feel like the truth? Friends don't touch like this. Chapter 1, The Engagement Post. Ava Reed was halfway through reorganizing her spice rack by Pantone value when her phone buzzed like it had a grudge. She ignored it. She had vowed to stop checking her ex's socials, which in practice meant she only did it at morally acceptable intervals, like never, or when her phone was literally vibrating itself toward the sink. Another buzz. Then 3 in a row. A group chat, College Coven, exploded with notifications. Zara, do not look. June, I already looked. Maya, I threw up in my mouth a little. Zara, AVA, I swear to God, put the phone down. Ava put the phone down. Then picked it up. Then put it down on the cutting board and stared at it like it was a loaded pastry. She'd been fine today. She'd done adult things. She'd meal prepped, she'd color-coded paprika. She could handle whatever carrion the algorithm dragged in. She unlocked the screen and saw it, a soft focus photo of Amelia, hair glossy, ring brighter, laughing up at a woman Ava didn't recognize while autumn leaves pretended they were confetti. Caption, she said yes. Tag at The Amelia Reed, because changing your last name on Instagram before changing it in court was apparently the new sacrament. Ava's stomach dropped like an elevator with opinions. The comments were a chorus of sparkles and shrieks. She scrolled until the words doubled. She did not cry. She simply forgot which end of the salt grinder did the grinding and seasoned the counter with enough Malden flakes to preserve it for winter. Her door knocked once, then opened because Zara had a key and no boundaries. Hey, friend, Zara called, breezy, which was always a warning sign. Didn't read the group chat, did you? Great, let's, oh. Zara stopped, taking in the cutting board, the pretzel knot of Ava's mouth, the glint of ring porn on the screen. She crossed the kitchen in 3 strides and shut the phone face down with 2 fingers. Okay. We're breathing. In through the nose, out through the spite. I'm fine, Ava said, and hated how unconvincing she sounded. It's been a year. Look, cardamom. Whole pods. That's how okay I am. Zara's smile softened. She smelled like lime and clean sweat and the faintest trace of the bar's smoke machine vanilla. You're doing amazing, sweetie, she deadpanned, then gentled. Want me to say something mean about her blazer collection? Ava choked on a laugh. They were structured. Like tax fraud. Zara's hand hovered near Ava's elbow, not touching, just there. It would have been nothing if noticing it didn't feel like a confession. The silence stretched, familiar and careful. That was their language, the not touching that meant I would if you asked. Ava's chest ached with how much of her life lived in that conditional. Zara exhaled. Okay, listen. We can drown in gelato and watch The Mummy again, wholesome bisexual panic, always medicinal, or we can do something wildly irresponsible. Ava eyed her. Define wildly. Zara squared her shoulders like a knight about to pitch a pyramid scheme. We fake date. Ava blinked. We what? Just until the engagement storm passes. We post a couple of photos. The coven stops pity texting. You get your dignity back, Amelia gets indigestion. No one gets hurt. Ava stared at her best friend, her reckless, sun-bright constant, and imagined it, Zara's arms slung over her shoulders in a photo that wasn't a joke. Zara's hand at the small of her back as if it belonged there. The idea hit like champagne, bubbles first, then a slow bloom of danger. That's not a small lie, Ava said, carefully. It's a teeny tiny lie, Zara countered. A lielet. Zara. Zara's smile wobbled, honest under the bravado. Or we don't. I'll sit here and make artisanal salt angels with you. Your call. Ava looked at the face-down phone. At the neat rows of spices she'd organized to keep from organizing her grief. At Zara's open, ridiculous, impossible face. Okay, she heard herself say. Let's be a lie. Zara's grin flashed, huge and helpless. She lifted her hand like she was going for a high five, then stopped, awkward. Terms and conditions? Ava laughed, nerves skittering. Rules. Yes. We'll need rules. Zara's eyes warmed. Friends, she said, solemn as a vow. Who don't touch like this. And then, very softly, she did. Chapter 2, The Rules of Pretending. They sat cross-legged on the couch, a notebook between them like a peace treaty, 2 mugs of chai going lukewarm beside the coaster graveyard. Zara clicked a pen. Rule 1, no catching feelings. Ava raised a brow. Too late. Zara blinked. Wait, what? I mean for the general public, Ava amended quickly, color rising. We can't look like we're catching feelings, or it'll seem fake. Real couples don't post thirst traps and declarations 3 days in. Zara smirked. You've studied this. I read romance arcs for a living, remember? Ava said, reaching for her mug. I can tell when chemistry's poorly paced. Good, Zara said, scribbling something. Rule 2, no real kissing unless it's strategic. Strategic? You know, like if your ex walks into the room and needs to see you've moved on. Pure optics. Ava stared at her. You have an entire espionage plan for making out. I call it emotional camouflage. Of course you do. They both tried to look serious. They failed. The laughter came fast, nervous and too easy. It felt dangerous, like leaning too far over a balcony. When they finally stopped giggling, Zara said, quieter, Rule 3, we stop whenever you say so. No questions, no guilt. Ava nodded, grateful for how Zara could turn levity into safety without ever announcing the switch. They spent the next hour drafting a social calendar of fake dates. Zara insisted they start small. A brunch photo, maybe a movie night selfie. Ava drew little boxes labeled pretend smiles. It was ridiculous and strangely comforting, like building a paper fort out of denial. By sunset, they'd migrated to the kitchen. Zara perched on the counter, scrolling through Ava's phone camera roll. You realize we have no pictures where we look even remotely couple-y. That's because we're not remotely couple-y. Correction, Zara said, hopping down. We're about to be. She angled her phone. Come here. Ava hesitated. Now? Now. Zara stepped closer, so close Ava could smell the citrus of her shampoo and the faint vanilla smoke that always clung to her skin. Pretend it's natural. Natural like what? Like you like me. Ava looked up, startled, and in that second, Zara snapped the photo. The flash painted the room gold. Zara checked the screen, then turned it for Ava to see. The image was convincing. Too convincing. Zara's hand rested against Ava's waist, her smile tilted somewhere between playful and protective. Ava's gaze had gone soft, almost tender. Zara exhaled. Damn. Ava forced a laugh. You're good at this. Zara didn't answer right away. You make it easy. Before Ava could reply, her phone buzzed again. She flipped it over, and froze. Amelia had commented on Zara's post already. Wow. Didn't see this coming. Guess you moved on fast. The blood drained from Ava's face. Zara read it over her shoulder, eyes narrowing. Oh, it's on, Zara said. We're taking this fake dating to national television. Zara. Nope. You've unleashed a competitive gay. Ava groaned, half laughing, half horrified. There's no such thing as a national fake girlfriend competition. Then we'll invent one, Zara said. And we'll win. Chapter 3, Brunch and Other Dangerous Things. The cafe Zara picked was obnoxiously photogenic. Ferns hung from the rafters, light bounced off mason jars, and the avocado toast came on reclaimed slate that cost more than Ava's rent. It was exactly the kind of place where you were supposed to be in love. Smile like I just told you I bought a dog, Zara whispered as they slid into a booth. I'd smile bigger if you actually had. Zara leaned in, phone already poised. Okay, look at me like I'm your entire world. That's, Ava started, but Zara tilted her chin up, and the words died in her throat. Click. Flash. The resulting photo made Ava's pulse misbehave. Her eyes were soft, her lips parted just slightly. Zara's gaze was fixed on her with a warmth Ava had only ever seen when Zara talked about sunsets or whiskey. Perfect, Zara said, satisfied. Too perfect, Ava muttered. People will know. Know what? That we're faking. Zara's grin was almost cruel. Or they'll think we've been lying for years. By the time their food arrived, the post was up. Caption: When your best friend finally agrees to brunch and emotional vulnerability Blackheart. It hit 500 likes before the mimosas landed. Then the comments rolled in. June, I knew it. I knew it. Maya, OMG soft Sapphic core achieved. Amelia, no comment this time, just a like that felt like a blade. Ava stared at the screen. This is escalating. Zara shrugged, biting into toast. I warned you. What if people think it's real? Isn't that the point? Yes, but, Ava sighed. You don't care what they think. I do. Zara's expression softened, humor flickering out like a candle in wind. Hey, she said gently. It's not forever. Just until it stops hurting. Ava looked up, and that was the problem, because Zara meant it. Every word. They spent the rest of brunch pretending the air wasn't charged. Zara talked about a new cocktail she was inventing, liquid therapy, basically, and Ava tried to focus on her eggs instead of how Zara's fingers tapped the table in rhythm with her heartbeat. When they left, the autumn air was crisp enough to bite. Zara slung an arm around Ava's shoulders for warmth, publicly, playfully, and a passing couple smiled at them like they were something beautiful. Ava told herself it was fine. Just optics. Except when Zara leaned closer and murmured, "You're shivering," Ava didn't feel cold at all. That night, Ava scrolled through the comments again, her stomach a mess of adrenaline and regret. She typed maybe this was a mistake into the chat, then deleted it before sending. Her phone buzzed before she could set it down. Zara, you home safe? Ava, yeah. Zara, good. Next time, we're doing dinner. Someplace with candles. Ava smiled at the screen, heart traitorously warm. Then she noticed the photo Zara had tagged her in had over 1,000 likes now. And among them was Amelia's fiancé. Chapter 4, Practice Makes Dangerous. Zara texted her the address like it was a dare. The restaurant was a dimly lit bistro downtown, all amber lighting and low jazz, the kind of place built for slow glances and bad decisions. Ava almost turned around twice before walking in. Zara was already at the bar, a whiskey in hand, black blazer sharp enough to commit crimes. When she saw Ava, she stood, and smiled like it was just for her. You look incredible, Zara said. Ava blinked. It's literally just a dress. Yeah, Zara said, voice low. That's the problem. The hostess assumed they were a couple before they could say a word. Table for two, she asked with a grin. Anniversary? Zara didn't miss a beat. First one, she said smoothly, fingers brushing Ava's hand. Ava's pulse stuttered. They followed the hostess to a booth tucked in the corner, half-shadowed and far too intimate. Zara ordered wine without asking. Ava didn't protest. For the first 10 minutes, they talked like normal, work, the Coven's latest group meltdown, Zara's band's new gig, but underneath, something else hummed. It wasn't nerves. It was electricity. Halfway through the meal, Zara leaned forward. Okay, she said softly, we need to talk about something before this goes further. Further? The internet thinks we're dating. People from my bar are asking. A girl I went out with once sent me a crying emoji. Ava winced. Oh. So, Zara continued, swirling her wine, we should probably be ready if someone sees us in public. For the act, I mean. What kind of ready? Zara's eyes gleamed. The kind that looks natural if someone walks by and sees us being affectionate. Ava nearly choked on her drink. You mean? Practice. Zara's smile was wicked, but her tone wasn't teasing. Just to sell it. Ava's pulse thundered. Zara. Just once. Ava wanted to say no. She really did. But Zara's gaze lingered, dark and steady, and Ava's heart betrayed her completely. Fine, she whispered. Practice. Zara leaned across the table, slow enough that Ava could have stopped her. She didn't. The air thickened, the candle between them flickered like it was holding its breath. When Zara's lips touched hers, it wasn't tentative. It wasn't a joke. It was soft, sure, and maddeningly patient, the kind of kiss that starts like a question and ends like an answer you're afraid to say out loud. Ava forgot the noise of the restaurant, forgot to breathe, forgot everything except the taste of wine and heat and the hand that slid up to cradle her jaw like she was something precious. When Zara finally pulled back, her voice was a rasp. Convincing enough? Ava swallowed hard. For who? Zara hesitated, eyes searching hers. Doesn't matter. They sat in silence for a long moment, pretending to study the menu again, both of them acutely aware of the lie burning between them. When the check came, Zara paid without looking at the total. Outside, the night air was cool and sharp. Ava tucked her hands into her coat pockets to hide the shake in her fingers. Zara walked her to her car, stopping beside the driver's door. You okay? Ava nodded, barely. Zara smiled faintly. Good. Because this? We're doing great. People are buying it. Ava looked up at her, at the smug, confident smirk that didn't reach her eyes, and thought, you're lying, too. She opened the car door and climbed in before she could say something honest. When she got home, she opened her phone. The new post already had comments. June, you two kissed in public? Maya, finally OMG. Amelia, glad you found someone who lets you be yourself. Ava stared at the screen until her reflection blurred. Then she whispered into the dark, this was supposed to be pretend. And hated how much of her didn't believe it anymore. Chapter 5, The Lie That Started Breathing. By the next morning, the internet had declared them soft Sapphic couple goals. Ava scrolled through her notifications with equal parts awe and nausea. The brunch photo, the dinner post, and the candid kiss Zara had uploaded, without warning, of course, were everywhere, reblogged, reposted, dissected by strangers who thought they knew what love looked like. Someone on Twitter had captioned it, when the best friends to lovers trope goes feral fire. Ava slammed her phone face down on the counter. You didn't ask me before posting that. Zara, wearing one of Ava's hoodies and looking disgustingly unbothered, glanced up from the coffee pot. It was good press. It was a kiss. That's kind of the point. Zara handed her a mug. We're selling a story. Ava stared at her. Are we? Zara froze mid-sip. You're overthinking again. Maybe I'm just thinking. Something cold flickered between them, the first real crack in their easy rhythm. Zara set her cup down, jaw tight. Look, if it's too much, we can stop. Ava wanted to say yes. To end it, delete everything, pretend she hadn't started craving Zara's laugh and the way she called her little writer when she got flustered. But the idea of walking away felt worse than the lie itself. Let's just finish the plan, she said instead, voice small. Zara studied her for a long second. Then she nodded, too briskly. Fine. There's a charity event next week. Amelia will be there. Of course she will. You'll wear red, Zara said. And I'll make her regret breathing. Ava tried to laugh. It came out shaky. The following weekend, the event glittered like a trap. Champagne flutes, velvet gowns, cameras catching every flicker of emotion. Ava clutched her clutch bag like a lifeline while Zara played the part perfectly, hand at the small of her back, whispers against her ear that weren't quite whispers. "You look nervous," Zara murmured. "I'm pretending to be your girlfriend while my ex watches from the bar," Ava hissed. "I think I've earned it." Zara's thumb traced lazy circles against her spine. "Then focus on me instead." It wasn't fair, the way Zara said things that sounded like strategy and felt like sincerity. Ava looked up, ready to snap back, and froze. Zara was watching her like she meant it. Like she wasn't acting at all. The room faded. The noise softened. The moment stretched, until Amelia approached, smiling too brightly. "Ava," she said sweetly. "I didn't realize you'd be here. Or that you'd bring someone." Zara's smile was sharp enough to cut glass. "Someone?" Amelia extended her hand. "Amelia. Ava's ex," Zara finished for her, shaking it firmly. "The one who couldn't commit." Ava nearly choked on air. Amelia's smile tightened. "Bold of you to assume you know anything about me." "I don't need to," Zara said easily. "I can see it on your face." The tension between them was thick enough to taste. Ava stepped in quickly, looping her arm through Zara's. "We should go," she said, voice trembling. They did, straight outside into the cool night air. Ava exhaled hard, half laughing, half furious. "You didn't have to attack her. She came to attack you. She just said hi." Zara turned on her, eyes flashing. "She said hi like she still owned you." The words hung between them. Heavy. Real. Neither of them moved. The air between them felt charged, dangerous, electric. Ava swallowed. "You're jealous." Zara's lips curved, but it wasn't amusement. It was pain. "Maybe I am." Ava stepped closer before she could stop herself. "Why?" "Because this was supposed to be fake," Zara said softly, "and I can't remember when it stopped feeling that way." Ava's breath caught. The world narrowed to the space between them, to the thrum of her pulse, the tremor in Zara's hand when it brushed her cheek. Then Zara kissed her. Not careful this time. Not staged. Not for show. It was messy, hungry, honest, and for the first time, Ava didn't care who saw. When they finally broke apart, breathless, Zara whispered, "Now we've done it." Ava smiled weakly. "Done what?" "Made it real." Chapter 7, Love in the Public Eye. Ava didn't realize how fast fame could become a cage until she woke up to her face on 3 gossip blogs. The headline. Fake dating. Real kisses. Artist Ava Raines and bartender Zara Quinn go viral after public confession. It wasn't the article that gutted her. It was the comments. "This feels like PR bait. They're doing it for clout. Zara's too hot for her anyway. She's using the lesbian angle to sell art." By noon, Ava's inbox was full of sponsorship offers she'd never asked for, and messages from art galleries quietly postponing her showings. The internet had made her love story look cinematic. Real life made it look like a scandal. She sat at her kitchen table, scrolling numbly until the screen blurred. Her coffee had gone cold hours ago. Her phone buzzed again. "Zara. Zara, you've been quiet all day." "Zara. Did I screw this up?" Ava stared at the messages until her chest hurt. She finally replied. "Ava, you didn't screw it up. We both did." Then she turned her phone off. When Zara showed up at her door that night, she didn't knock. She just leaned against the frame, looking like she hadn't slept in days. "You disappeared," she said softly. "I needed space." Zara nodded slowly. "Right. Because that always works." Ava bristled. You don't get to be sarcastic right now. Zara stepped inside, ignoring the warning in her tone. You're angry at me for posting that photo. Fine. I deserve it. But don't act like I forced you into anything you didn't want. Ava turned away, arms crossed. You think this is about the photo? Zara, I lost a show because of this. They said they don't want to be part of my personal drama. Zara froze. What? Yeah, Ava said bitterly. Apparently, queer love isn't marketable unless it's neatly packaged and PG-rated. Zara's eyes softened. Ava. I told you this would spiral. I told you not to post that kiss. Zara's voice dropped, quiet but fierce. I didn't post it to go viral. I posted it because I wanted to stop hiding you. Ava turned back to her, something breaking in her chest. You don't even know what we are. Zara's jaw clenched. Then tell me. Silence. Ava's voice came out small, trembling. I don't know. Zara exhaled slowly, eyes glinting under the low light. Then figure it out. Because I already have. What does that mean? It means, Zara said, stepping closer, you're it for me. And I don't care if the internet burns for it. Ava stared at her, at the dark circles under her eyes, the raw honesty in her voice, the unguarded emotion that no one else ever got to see. It hit her all at once, the woman who terrified her, infuriated her, and somehow made her feel seen in a way that nothing else ever had. Zara wasn't her problem. Zara was her home. Ava's voice cracked. You're impossible. Zara smirked weakly. Takes one to know one. And just like that, Ava laughed, the first real sound that had left her chest all day. She didn't even realize she was crying until Zara's hands were cupping her face, wiping the tears with gentle thumbs. I'm sorry, Zara whispered. Next time I post something, I'll ask. Ava let out a choked laugh. There better not be a next time. Oh, there will, Zara said softly. Because we're not done. Ava blinked. You're serious. Completely. Even after this mess? Especially after this mess. Zara leaned in, her forehead resting against Ava's. I want the chaos. The risk. You. Ava closed her eyes. You have me. Good, Zara whispered. Then let's make it worth the fallout. Chapter 8, Burn It Down, Build It Better. 3 days later, Ava's art show should have opened. Instead, she stood outside the locked gallery, her reflection staring back at her in the dark glass, same wild curls, same anxious eyes, but she didn't look like herself anymore. She looked like someone who'd been seen. The door creaked open behind her. You're still early, came Zara's voice. Ava turned. You shouldn't be here. Zara's smile was crooked. You say that every time, and yet, here I am. Ava sighed. They cancelled, Zara. There's nothing to see. Zara stepped closer, tucking her hands into her jacket pockets. Then we'll make them see. Ava blinked. What? Zara gestured toward the building. Who says you need permission to show your art? You've got walls. You've got lights. You've got me and a few thousand followers who would crawl through broken glass for a pop-up show. Let's do it here. Tonight. Ava stared at her. You're insane. Probably. Zara grinned. But you love that about me. Ava did love that about her, the reckless energy that dared the world to say no. She hesitated, then smiled faintly. You really think people will come? Sweetheart, Zara said, pulling out her phone, they're already on the way. By sunset, cars lined the street outside the gallery. Word had spread like wildfire, the cancelled artist staging her own show with her not-so-secret girlfriend. Zara had turned the once pristine space into chaos and charm, fairy lights strung over door frames, candles flickering in empty wine bottles, Ava's paintings propped against brick and concrete instead of walls. It shouldn't have worked. But it did. People came in droves, some fans, some friends, a few nosy reporters pretending to be art lovers. But the air buzzed with something alive, something unfiltered. Ava stood in the center, overwhelmed. Her work, pieces she'd painted in silence for years, suddenly had voices around them. She paints like she's bleeding light, someone whispered. Another person murmured, it feels honest. Ava turned to Zara, tears in her eyes. You did this. Zara shook her head. No, babe. You did. I just turned the volume up. The event blurred into laughter, warmth, clinking glasses, soft music, and too many compliments Ava didn't know how to handle. When things finally quieted, Ava slipped out onto the back balcony. Zara found her there, sitting on the old stone ledge with the city glowing below. You disappeared, Zara teased. Habit, Ava murmured. When things get good, I panic. Zara joined her, sitting close enough that their knees brushed. You're allowed to be happy, you know. I don't know how. Zara smiled faintly. Lucky for you, I'm an excellent teacher. Ava laughed, quiet but real. You make it sound easy. It isn't, Zara said. But it's worth it. Ava turned toward her, the glow of streetlights catching the gold flecks in Zara's eyes. You make everything sound worth it. Even this? Zara asked softly. This especially. Ava leaned in first this time, the kiss gentle, unhurried, tasting of champagne and freedom. It wasn't for the internet or the cameras or the narrative. It was theirs. When they finally pulled back, Ava whispered, You're impossible. Zara smiled. Yeah, but you're stuck with me now. Ava looked out over the city, her heart steady for the first time in months. Good. I think I finally want to be stuck. Chapter 9, What Comes After the Fire. A month later, Ava's life looked unrecognizable. Her art was selling faster than she could paint. Her following had doubled, then tripled. And every interview started with the same question. So, tell us about you and Zara. Every single time. Ava smiled politely through them, learned how to dodge the invasive ones with a grin and a joke, but by the 10th time in one day, the shine had started to fade. She wasn't used to being wanted this way, not for her art, not for her story, not for her love life turned entertainment. And it wasn't lost on her that Zara was built for this spotlight, while she wasn't. Zara thrived in it, effortless in every photo, commanding every room. But behind the flashbulbs and interviews, something between them had started to change. Ava felt it first, that quiet space between laughter where silence used to feel like comfort but now hummed with tension. They were at Zara's bar one night after closing. The neon sign outside buzzed faintly, painting the floor in pink light. Zara poured them both a drink and slid one across the counter. To survival. Ava didn't touch it. To surviving what? Zara smirked. Us. The words were light, but the look in her eyes wasn't. Ava traced the rim of her glass, her reflection warping in the dark liquid. Are we surviving? Or just performing? Zara's brows furrowed. Don't start that. I'm serious, Ava said quietly. When was the last time we did something without thinking about how it would look? No posts, no captions, no performance. Zara sighed, rubbing the back of her neck. You're tired. That's all. No, Ava said, voice steady now. I'm scared. Scared that the story we made swallowed the real thing. Zara's jaw tightened. You think what we have isn't real? I know it is, Ava whispered. But it's getting harder to prove it when the whole world's watching. Zara stared at her, something soft cracking behind her usual armor. So what do you want me to do? Delete everything? Pretend you don't exist? I just want us back, Ava said. The version before the noise. Zara leaned across the counter, eyes searching hers. You want quiet again? I want peace. Zara hesitated, then said, almost a whisper, I don't know if I know how to give you that. The admission hit harder than Ava expected, not cruel, just honest. Zara was made of motion, attention, chaos. Silence had always been Ava's home. For Zara, it was exile. Maybe that's why they worked. Maybe that's why they didn't. Ava's voice trembled. Then maybe we don't belong in the same story anymore. Zara's mouth parted, but no words came. The silence that followed wasn't angry. It was exhausted. 2 weeks passed. The tabloids spun theories about their split. Zara didn't post. Ava didn't paint. The city moved on faster than either of them expected. Until one morning, a knock came at Ava's door. When she opened it, Zara stood there, hoodie, messy hair, no cameras, no entourage. Just her. I didn't know where else to go, she said simply. Ava's throat tightened. You could have called. Zara shrugged. You would have ignored it. She wasn't wrong. Zara stepped closer, hesitating at the threshold. I know you wanted peace. But the thing is, Ava, peace without you doesn't feel like peace. It feels like nothing. Ava stared at her. You think saying that fixes everything? No, Zara said softly. I think it's a start. And somehow, that was enough. Ava stepped aside. Come in. Zara smiled, just barely. Took you long enough. Ava rolled her eyes, but the corner of her mouth betrayed her. Don't ruin the moment. Never, Zara murmured, brushing past her, and for the first time in weeks, the world stopped spinning. Not because it was perfect. Because it was theirs. Chapter 10, Off the Record. The first thing Ava noticed after Zara moved back in wasn't how different things were, it was how quiet they'd become. No more notifications interrupting dinner. No more, just one more photo, before they could leave the house. No more pretending their love had to look like a headline. Just the sound of coffee brewing in the morning, bare feet on hardwood, the soft hum of Zara singing under her breath while making breakfast. They had chosen peace, and it turned out peace wasn't boring at all, it was sacred. It didn't happen overnight. There were fights, small ones that flared and burned out, big ones that ended in silence and shaky laughter. But every time, they found their way back to each other. Zara learned to stop treating vulnerability like a performance. Ava learned that love didn't always have to hide. And together, they started building something that wasn't for show, just for them. One evening, Ava sat cross-legged on the floor of her studio, staring at a blank canvas. Zara appeared in the doorway, 2 glasses of wine in hand. Still nothing? Ava smiled faintly. I'm thinking. Dangerous, Zara teased, setting the glasses down. Ava looked up at her, eyes soft. You know what I realized? All my best work came from pain. But maybe the next one doesn't have to. Zara tilted her head, intrigued. What's it going to be about? Ava smiled. You. Zara froze for half a second, unguarded, caught off balance. Then she smirked, recovering. Guess I better look good in acrylic. Ava laughed. You always do. Weeks later, Ava unveiled her next series in a tiny, unpublicized exhibit. No press releases. No influencers. No captions. Just a handwritten note on the door. For the one who taught me that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. The gallery lights glowed softly over the paintings, all of them touched by warmth instead of shadow. A hand reaching for another. A coffee cup in morning light. 2 women dancing barefoot in a kitchen. And at the end of the room, one final piece, Zara asleep on the couch, bathed in sunlight. Ava stood beside her, fingers interlaced. You made me look peaceful, Zara said quietly. You are, Ava replied. For now, Zara said with a teasing smile. Ava nudged her shoulder. Don't ruin it. I'm not. Zara's voice softened. I just know we're always going to be a little chaotic. But that's okay. We make it work. Ava leaned in, her forehead resting against Zara's. Yeah, she whispered. We do. Outside, the city buzzed on, alive, endless, unaware. Inside, under soft light and fresh paint, two women stood quietly in the stillness they had fought like hell to earn. No audience. No captions. Just love, unfiltered, imperfect, entirely theirs. The end. Thank you for listening. Did you fall in love with Ava and Zara like I did?